My name is Wale Okediran. I'm a writer and politician. And in my spare time, I'm a medical doctor. The genres of literature I write in are fiction, especially the full-length novel, short stories, and once in a while I try my hand at poetry, but I'm not too strong in that. And as of today, I have a couple of novels to my name, about 10 published novels, some of which have won some local and international literary awards. I started out by fighting injustice as a newspaper columnist many years ago in The Guardian. And from there, when I discovered that I didn't have enough space to express myself, I went into writing, carrying on the same fight and struggle against injustice, against social disorder, and against what I call sycophancy in government. And this has featured prominently in many of my books. Actually, the idea to set up this residency came from my wife when we came visiting here. And she loved the quiet environment, and the idea came that we should open it out to writers as a residency program. Sometimes a writer in the middle of a work needs some time and space to tidy up a few things, and because of the peculiarity of the society in Nigeria, you hardly find this kind of opportunity in your day-to-day work to find time to get away from the hustle and bustle. The idea of bringing writers to a quiet place where they could do their work, it was really appealing.
I'm John Sapon, a Ghanaian based in Nigeria since 1977. I published my first book for children, that is poetry for the young ones, jazz and poems. Then in 1996, I published the second book, Sweet Talking Drums. But with my experience in the teaching field, I saw that poetry was dying. Teachers don't teach. Children don't know. It's the old poems, overseas poetry, Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars and all that. So I started visiting schools, teaching the teachers the relevance of poems for the growing child. A writer, particularly who is a poet, we write through experiences, feelings and thoughts and all that. So whatever the experience will be or it is, I learned so many things from it. As for my work, I've been dealing with children. And children like music, dancing. So I've started dancing with them, and they were all happy dancing with me. When they were going out, some of them start tapping me, mentioning me some of the songs I sang with them. And I've foreseen that these are the areas I have to start with them.
A writer will also first and foremost be a reader, and in view of the poor quality of education in Nigeria and some African countries, it's imperative that our children and young ones coming up get early exposure to writing and reading, and this is where literature plays a very crucial role. And that is why we believe that we should try as much as possible to introduce literature and English at a very early stage for our children. And not only that, guardians and parents should also take a big role in supervising and encouraging children and ones growing up in the area of literature and reading.
I am Dr. Musa Idris Opanachi, an associate professor of English from on sabbatical at Federal University Dutse in Jigawa State, Nigeria. I was born in Ida in Kogi State of Nigeria, and I've been teaching in the university for the past 20 years. And then I've been writing mostly poetry. This time I'm trying to try my hand at prose fiction. I heard about this Ebedi International Writers Residency through our list serve, Ederi. And I welcome the idea because it is the first of its type in Nigeria. And I had always longed to be here so that I can have a quiet moment to put my thoughts down. There are many challenges facing the writers in Nigeria. Number one, the educational system is nothing to write home about, frankly speaking, so that the audience you are writing for are more of international audience than internal audience. People who can appreciate what we are writing are more of people from abroad. The few that can understand it here are just very taking interest in, everything is determined by the economic base of the society. We are handicapped because it requires a lot of money to write and publish. If you are not comfortable, it's not easy. Conducive atmosphere like the one we found in Ebedi International Writers Residency is quite absent in our homes. And moreover, the government does not appreciate people that should support arts are not supporting it, and the value they give to writers is far, far, far below what they give to musicians. For example, a musician who comes to perform in the public, for example, can earn 2 million in 2 performances, but a writer who reads like the person who established the Ebedi International Residency has been reading all over the country one of his novels, but how much has he collected? How many has been sold? Nigeria, we have very little reading culture in Nigeria, so this is the problem.
African literature is very important to the rest of the world because it gives Africans or African writers a window to express themselves, particularly in a way in which the authorities will not clamp down on them. You can use fiction, you can use allegories, you can use poetry to express yourself so that you avoid being sanctioned. Because in Africa, criticism of government is not very much encouraged. We find ways of running away from being reprimanded through our fiction.
I'm Elnathan John. I reside in Abuja. I'm from Kaduna State in Nigeria. I'm a writer. I write mostly short fiction and newspaper articles. Nigerian writing has, for one thing, improved a lot over the years. It has struggled against problems such as the economic situation, hardship generally, and then the almost near absence of publishing, and more crucially of editors, so that many writers are forced to self-publish their works, and we have a very, very poor quality of works coming out, not because we have bad writers, but because the facilities that encourage good publishing are not there. We don't have editors, and so people are forced to go to printers. Generally, the environment doesn't help writers here. But then this is one good thing that the residency does. It gives you time away from normal work schedule and allows you to focus on your writing. It's important to have things like this and to have things like this encouraged.
Right now, the residency is only for 6 weeks, and the writer has a weekly stipend with which to take care of his meals and board.
Somehow, for the first time, I'm in a place where it is quiet and conducive for me to write. And, organization of plots of fiction is not an easy thing to conceptualize. In a quiet environment like this, I find it very useful, and I'm not doing anything except to sit down before my computer and then write. And in fact, it's almost an ideal situation for a writer. Writers don't like claustrophobic atmosphere. Maybe giving a bit of space. Maybe when eventually the permanent site is ready, it will be designed to the taste of the writers.
We provide a space for reading and a space for television watching, and a conducive garden where the writer can move around or exercise itself.
I've enjoyed the very serene environment and mostly quiet, space to myself, and being able to focus on writing and not think about any other thing. Plus, of course, there are beautiful hills which I like a lot, which I could climb early in the morning and just free my mind.
In our package, we also expect the writer to have interaction with students in the secondary school for a couple of hours every week. This, we think, will give the writer a change in the daily routine of just writing, and also it will also help us to get writers to mentor some of the students in the community.
We have visited one school, and when we went there, I told the coordinator there that you should be able to bring the teachers in first, because when you teach a teacher, you teach millions. Because after we have left, what is going to be the follow-up from the teacher to the child and the child to the teacher?
Right now, the residency is being funded by myself and a group of friends. We are still in the process of looking for corporate assistance. Our dream is that this kind of residency program will be multiplied all over the country. We're going to have many of them of international standard, and also to make it sustainable instead of depending on the efforts of a few individuals. We hope that with adequate support, we'll be able to achieve this.